And guys, in this next news story, a gangland killer was rushed to hospital after an incident in Low Moss prison. Christopher Hughes was brutally attacked in the exercise yard at Bishop Briggs Jail. Sources have stated that the attack came as part of a power struggle in the institution, which is home to some of the country's most violent convicts. The 35-year-old was caged for gunning down the Dutch crime figure Martin Kok in the Netherlands on December the 8th, 2016. A source stated that Hughes was assaulted in the exercise yards of the Scottish prison. He was beaten to the point where he needed to be taken to hospital. It was carnage in there. It's believed that the attack was ordered by another high-level convict. It said Low Moss is facing a power struggle between some of the most notorious inmates, and it's an intense battle for power, with rivals fighting to be the top dog. So Hughes, he was caught on CCTV fleeing the scene after Kok was gunned down in what was later snared in Turin in Italy after he was using a fake Latvian ID. He was told in April 2022 at the High Court in Stirling that he must serve at least 25 years of his life sentence before he's eligible to be released. A source has stated there are so many feared gangsters inside now that it's inevitable that tensions rise and someone will try to be the main boss. Police spokesperson said inquiries are ongoing following the report that a 35-year-old man was injured within Low Moss prison. A Scottish Prison Service spokesperson stated, "We don't comment on individuals." So guys, this is a new story coming in. And also I'm going to go through now with regards to why this man is in jail.
Christopher Hughes lured Martin Kok, who was 49 years old, to his death before he was shot 8 times by a gunman in the Netherlands back in 2016. Police described Hughes, who's 33 years old, as a dangerous individual after he was convicted last month. So that's a story I've previously reported on. I'll put the link in the description below. You can go and check that out. It's believed that he was part of an enterprise that generated more than £100 million a year. He was originally from Glasgow, and he was also found guilty of involvement in serious organised crime between July 2013 and January 2020. Despite the fact that the murder happened in the Netherlands, it was investigated as part of Police Scotland's Operation Escalade. To date, it has resulted in gang members being jailed for a combined total of more than 100 years. So at his sentencing, Lady Scott said the murder had been a planned and ruthless execution. Kok was a convicted killer turned crime writer who had set up a website detailing the activities of criminals in his homeland. During the trial, it emerged Hughes met him at an Amsterdam hotel, then at a sex club, and alerted others to where he was. As the pair later left, Hughes paused to stroke a cat while leaving the building before Kok was gunned down as a favour for seemingly angering Moroccan gangsters. Hughes was quizzed by Dutch police the next day before being allowed to leave. He remained at large in Europe as the international probe into the shooting continued. But it was his apparent confession to a fellow gang member turned informer which led to his downfall. Hughes was arrested in Italy in January 2020 and flown back to Scotland on an arrest warrant. The court heard he was a trusted member of a heavily armed group which was part of a vast criminal network. It had links with gangs from across the globe, from Colombian drug cartels to the Italian mafia. The group even invested in state-of-the-art surveillance equipment in a bid to establish if their network had been compromised by the authorities. Jurors at the trial were shown a photo of Hughes smiling with the 2 wanted men who run the operation. However, these men cannot be identified for legal reasons, but they're major players. Hughes was listed by the HMRC as unemployed, but he was getting wages of £40,000 a week, which had earned him a luxury lifestyle in Portugal. The informer explained to jurors in evidence that he was told to set up a meeting in an Amsterdam hotel between Hughes and Kok. He told the court he believed the meeting was to discuss advertising for the firm's encrypted mobile phone company MPC, which was funded with £1 million of dirty money. The murder was originally due to happen hours earlier outside the Citizen M hotel, but play-by-play of events at his flat in Antwerp in Belgium, Hughes told the informant that the gun had jammed. On the night of the murder, the court heard Hughes paid for Kok's evening at the sex club and supplied him with cocaine. The informant stated that he was speaking to his crime boss on the night of the incident. He said the boss had been on about someone waiting for Martin Kok, and Christopher Hughes was to hold back. Martin left just ahead of Chris and he made a comment about the cats appearing at the club and then stepped back to pet it. The prosecutor, Lee Mewing QC, asked what the significance of petting the cat was. The witness replied, Martin was going to his car first, so there was no mistake of anyone being caught in the crossfire.
And guys, in this next news story, 2 men have been rumbled over a drugs network in Birmingham after their messages uncovered the Jono line. The pair were jailed for supplying crack and heroin after police shut down a highly active drugs line which was running for almost a year. The 2 men, Sean Bennett, who's 32, and Patrick McCormack, who's 46, ran the illegal Class A network which mainly operated in King's Standing in Birmingham between October 2022 and August last year. Officers from the County Lines Task Force discovered bulk messages showing the availability of the Jono line to supply heroin and coke along with their price list. Bennett was first arrested for failing to stop for cops and driving dangerously. They gripped him, and once they'd gripped him, they'd done a search on him. He was found in possession of the phone which was used for the Jono drugs line and another phone involved in the operation and a quantity of coke. They put 2 and 2 together and locked the guy up. After examining the handsets and phone records, it was discovered the drugs line regularly diverted incoming calls to phone numbers linked to the other guy, McCormack. Messages from the Jono line to McCormack's phone revealed discussions about the sale and supply of drugs. There was CCTV footage which also showed McCormack and Bennett purchasing a top-up for their drug phone handsets. Last August, after compiling sufficient evidence, police raided a number of Birmingham properties in connection with that line. Officers also seized a shotgun, £500 of suspected criminal cash and paraphernalia for the supply of Class A. Bennett, who's from Birmingham, and McCormack, who's from Birmingham, admitted their roles in the drugs network. Bennett was sentenced to 8 years and 6 months custody for being concerned with the supply and possessing Class A and dangerous driving at Birmingham Crown Court. McCormack was sentenced to 7 years and 4 months custody for supplying Class A drugs and possession of a shotgun. Detective Sergeant Gavin McGrath from the County Lines Task Force said these 2 guys, Bennett and McCormack, were 2 key suppliers of drugs in King's Standing. He said, we will continue our work in bringing down key players in drugs line right across the force area. He said, we know the misery dealers bring to their surrounding community and we will continue to break through such operations and jail them all. So guys, here's a number of stories coming out from the streets of the UK. Once again, if you already haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. Please give this video a little like and I appreciate it. It's your boy GC. Keep it locked, keep it real.